The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Hooray for Hollywood, where stars are living large, in mansions with their servants and their credit cards in charge, with fame that's fleeting, but the egos never change, where everyone's a genius, except the ones who really arrange. Hooray for Hollywood, where the scandals always sell, where every whispered secret is a new tabloid's tell. Oh, how we adore the endless red carpet galore. Hooray for Hollywood, where less is always more.
Hello. Good evening and welcome to not TV Party Night. That's my usual show. We're doing Damn You Hollywood tonight.
Yay.
You know, I'm just going to chalk that one up to the heat. It's nearly 100 degrees here in Kansas City, and I am melting.
Well, we are in TV Party Tonight's slot tonight.
Pretty much. Because, we were talking about this on Fantastic Four's review last night, and Mark thought K-Pop Demon Hunters was a show. So he's like, oh, of course you want to do it. I'm like, no, it's a movie. He's like, oh, well, I guess it is Damn You Hollywood. So
yes, it's technically on TV, but it is a movie.
Very much so. Mr. David Wright, how are you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Glad to hear it. And yes, we are talking about the runaway sensation from Netflix, K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Like everyone else, we are late to the party on this one.
Yeah, well, it takes a while for us to get, going on these kind of things.
Well, word of mouth is a slow method of advertisement, but effective. Very effective.
Very effective. This premiered on June 20th, 2025. It has quickly become Netflix's most popular movie. The soundtrack stayed number one on Spotify for weeks. It has been just
now it's number two.
Okay, wait. You know what number one is?
No idea. I just heard that it's at number two, so...
All right. Well, either way, this thing has been crazy popular, and it's pretty much doing what no other animation company has been able to do this year. A lot of reviews I've been seeing essentially titled K-Pop Demon Hunters. Netflix does what Pixar don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost doing what Hollywood doesn't.
Pretty much. And it does also show just how much Netflix is letting their creators have fun. We're seeing such a wide breadth of movies and TV shows that are coming out of Netflix, not just other streaming services, but Netflix in general, that have been massively breaking conventions on what we usually see out of the streaming services. It's popular, it's fun, it's creative as hell. They're not putting controlling assets on their creators, on the directors or writers. They're not saying, you have to bow to the algorithm, as it were. We have a movie here that was directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehouse, I believe. Story by Maggie Kang, produced by Michelle Wong. I kind of blurred the two lines there. With gorgeous animation. The plot is that essentially for centuries, demons have preyed upon humans, stealing their souls and bringing their souls as of power to their ruler, Gima. If I'm massacring the Korean names, I apologize.
Yeah, I think it's Guima. I too know very little Korean.
No, we bring you on for Japanese, which is why when Shogun Season 2 comes on, I'm going to be referring to you quite a bit once again.
Yes, that will be interesting. Hopefully a good interesting.
Still have no idea where they're going to go with that, though. They kind of wrap things out nicely. So, through generations, we have had a group of 3 women from the human world who create a magical barrier called the Han Moon. And they do this by lifting people up through song. So these 3 women always have beautiful voices, and they are also talented demon hunters. And this is continued through generation after generation, through various styles of music till the current generation with our band Huntrix. Girls Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. They are demon hunters under the guidance of Celine, a previous hunter. We actually find out quite a bit from about the girls in the beginning. We have Rumi, whose mother was part of the previous generation of Demon Hunters. The woman guiding them, Celine, was basically also one of the previous Demon Hunters. We have Mira, who is the bad girl. She came from a very prosperous family, and she was the wild child who couldn't be controlled. And we have Zoe, the rapper, who was actually raised in Burbank. So we have our girls who have just completed a world tour, and even though they think it's break time, Rumi says no, now we have a better idea. We're going to release our new single, Golden, and this is going to create a golden Han moon, which basically means the portal's going to be permanently sealed, or at least sealed into the next generation. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it's going to be a little bit of
as far as we know, it'll be sealed for good, so no demons will ever be able to pass ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So job's done at that point.
Pretty much. She's like, come on, we're so close. Let's just, get through this last hurdle, release the last single, unite everyone under our awesome music, and then we can take a break. Of course, what Mira and Rumi do not what Mira and Zoe do not, I'm going to mess with these names so much.
Yeah. Mira and Zoe don't know.
Is that Rumi actually is part demon. Turns out that her mother decided to get a little kinky with the demon, and so she is also part demon. So part of the reason she's pushing Golden is also that she's hoping that if they create the Golden Han Moon and seal it, her patterns, the markings on her skin that show her demon heritage, will disappear for good, and she can just finally relax. And the demon realm, Guimar, is getting mad because his minions keep failing, and he is approached by a demon named Jinu, who proposes a strategy. Fight fire with fire. Bring up a group of demons as a boy band, the Sasha Boys. So we get the Sasha Boys trying to steal the attention from Huntrix, steal their fans, and Junie ends up finding out about Rumi and her heritage, and the two start to bond. Turns out that Jinu was also previously human, who, for lack of a better term, sold his soul to Guimar. It's, very much a crossroads demon story. So meeting privately, Jinu tells Rumi that demons are enslaved by the feelings of shame and sorrow. So Guimar is literally that voice in the back of your head telling you that you're no good. Which, yeah, it's like that does suck. 400 years earlier, Guimar granted him a beautiful voice that helped him and his family emerge from poverty, but then condemned him to the demon realm. And Jinu now lives with the guilt over his family's subsequent downfall. Now, this is building up to the Idol Awards ceremony, and Huntrix is rushing to produce a new song, a takedown, to expose the Sasha Boys while their popularity skyrockets. Things are starting to get a little rough between the girls, though, because the lyrics to Takedown are very, fuck you, demons, and Ruby's kind of uncomfortable with that, and Mira's noticing, and she's like, okay, so why are you uncomfortable with this? Because this is kind of what we're supposed to be doing. But in the end, they agree that they will go ahead and not do the Takedown, and they will do Golden at the Idol Awards. The girls can kind of sense it's better they do that anyway. And Rumi proposes a plan to Jinu. If he helps Huntrix win the Idol Awards and helps strengthen the Han Moon to make it the Golden Han Moon, then he can probably stay in the human world. Of course, the Han Moon is starting to weaken with the Sasha Boys. They're stealing more of the fans. And at the Idol Awards, Sasha Boys actually fail to appear. Huntrix performs Golden. Everything's going great. Rumi sounds amazing. But something seems to be off when the music changes and Mira and Zoe start singing Takedown. Because guess what? Those aren't Mira and Zoe. Those are demons in disguise. And they expose Rumi's demon marks. Rumi flees the stage and runs into the real Mira, and Zoe are like, hey, what's going on? Why the hell do you have patterns on your arms? Holy shit. Third act confrontation, the band breaks up. Guimar casts a trance over Mira and Zoe and the public, drawing them to the Sasha Boys' final performance where they're singing Idol. And as the song builds, we see the souls of all these poor people being slowly sucked into Guimar. Rumi meets up with Celine and asks her to end her life since she's part demon. Celine refuses, but rather than comforting her about what she is and where she came from, she basically says, it's okay, we'll just put some more clothes on you. We'll hide the patterns and we'll just forget all about it.
Conceal, don't feel, don't let it show.
Unfortunately, yes. And Rumi realizes, that's probably not a good lesson. And she says, you know what? No, I don't want to conceal anymore. She interrupts the Saja Boys performance with a new song addressing shame and fear. She breaks the trance over Zoe and Mira. They start singing, and Genu actually sacrifices himself to shield Rumi from Guima, and he transfers what's left of his restored soul to her to give her a little extra boost. This gives the strength to Huntrix to defeat Guima and the Saja Boys. The Hun Moon is created. The demons are sealed away. And Huntrix can finally rest on the couch. So anyway, I've been talking about this on TV Party Tonight and Damn You Hollywood a little bit, just commenting, if anyone wanted to review it, I was up for it. You messaged me saying you were up for it. So tell me, what about it got you interested? Why was it just what I was saying? Was it what you were seeing on word of mouth through Netflix? Was it anyone else?
It was mostly like the word of mouth online. I kept seeing YouTube trying to push it on me. It's like, okay, well, Alexis says she wants to do this, so I'll give it a look, and I did, and I'm glad I did because it was really, really good.
Absolutely. This was something that I had seen advertised all over YouTube. Anytime I went on Netflix to watch something, it was like, check out K-Pop Demon Hunters. I'm like, okay, fine. I was really interested in the animation style. This takes a page, I would say, out of the animation from the Spider-Verse. It combines
same studio.
Well, it is Sony Pictures Animation, but it's the idea of combining 2D imagery into a 3D landscape. We get a lot of anime influences. My personal favorite being anytime Abby of the Saja Boys, because of his abs, shows up and the girls literally get like popcorn coming out of their
eyes. I'll never think of corn the same way again after watching this movie.
No, every time you shuck some corn, it's like abs.
I wouldn't have the same reaction.
Oh, what? You don't like sexy abs?
Sorry, no, pretty straight here.
It's okay.
I would like to have them, but
the show does have some incredible fight choreography as well. They really take advantage. The first main action sequence alone is really great. Going to the song "How It's Done," which I have had stuck in my head. Okay. Quick question. What has been the earworm for you? What's the song you cannot get out of your head?
It kind of rotates a lot. Yeah. Takedown gets in there. Yeah. How It's Done. Sometimes Golden and What It Sounds Like. Those kind of just all kind of rotate around.
And then you start going like this, and I'm like, he's listening to Soda Pop. My little Soda Pop.
Stop moving their shoulders. I'm sorry, it's just so catchy. It is catchy.
And I will say, before I go back to the animation, that is actually what got me interested in discussing this. I'm not a pop song fan. I'm not a pop music fan. Never have been. Even when I was a teenager, just not my thing. Didn't listen to boy bands or anything like that. And I mean, I respect it, just never been my thing. And after watching this, again, could not get the music out of my head. And I found myself pulling it up on Spotify and YouTube and listening to it all the time. I'm like, oh my God, why? It's like, why am I listening to this? I thought I didn't like this crap. But it really does stick with you. This music is brilliant and it is so damn catchy. And I love it.
Yeah, they went to a lot of really established people who had worked in popular music and K-pop to write the songs for the show. And I think they even talked to someone from Broadway. I think he's the same advisor that Only Murders in the Building used. So they really, so they worked with them to sort of make really strong music that also integrated well into the story, and it's paying off for them massively.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when you have a story where music is so important, like music is the weapon, you damn well better have really good music or it's not going to work.
Yeah, because this isn't just a musical; it's a musical about music. So it's not just a case of the girls have to burst into songs. Like when what's that old saying in musicals? When you can't talk, you sing.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has to go into that's what they're doing. But it also has to become the songs that they're singing for their crowds. That's what I think I love so much about how it's done is it turns into it's a fight scene on a plane, but then it turns into a concert performance, and it works and it flows, and I love that.
Yeah, and it establishes a lot of the characters at the start of just how confident they are in, how easily they're able to dispatch the demons.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not even breaking a sweat. This is just another day at the office for them, and you just have these demons running and screaming whilst they're just being annihilated.
Yeah, I was like, bleeding isn't in my blood. It's one
Yeah,
I always love that line.
That might make sense, but okay, yeah.
Yeah. Hair, nails, heels, blade, mascara. Take another note from my napalm era. It's like, this is catchy lyrics.
Yeah, oh, very.
Okay, so I got here. In the United States, the soundtrack album holds the highest debut on the Billboard 200 chart for soundtracks released in 2025 and is the first soundtrack of 2025 to reach top 10. Also, the highest charting animated film soundtrack album since Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, if this doesn't dominate at the Oscars, then it was snubbed.
Okay, which song do you think would actually be the best one to potentially get Best Original Song nominated?
Ooh, that's tricky. I mean, I think Golden seems to be the most popular one, which is certainly worthy of it. I mean, my personal favorite would be What It Sounds Like, but again, they're both very strong songs.
But now I have to decide what's better. I Lied to You from Sinners or Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters? Because I want both to get nominated. Yeah. Have you seen Sinners?
No.
Okay. Amazing movie. It's actually #1 on my top movies of the year.
I've heard nothing but good things, but yeah, it's theater actress is a bit hard for me right now.
Okay.
And free time.
Are your kids taking too much free time?
Yeah, and there's that whole work thing too.
Oh, who cares about work? How are your kids doing, by the way? How are they?
Oh, she's doing great.
Wonderful.
She's doing the best of all of us.
Glad to hear it. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Golden and Your Idol topped the U.S. Spotify charts with Huntrix hitting #2 on the chart, surpassing Blackpink as the highest charting female K-pop group, and the Saja Boys becoming the highest charting male K-pop group in U.S. Spotify history, surpassing BTS.
Oh dear, someone's going to get killed.
It's South Korea, not North Korea. I think they're fine.
No, like those BTS fans, they're something else.
That's true. Yeah, BTS are. No, I was going to say they're like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC fans, but no, they are so much strong. K-pop fans are crazier, stronger, way more devoted than the American boy bands that we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I could definitely see Golden getting nominated for it. But yeah, going back to the action sequences, this has got some amazing fight choreography, some really great scenes. Again, the very first scene in the movie is on a plane. The girls realize that the plane has kind of been hijacked by demons who think they can hide by pouring coffee in a potted plant. That was just kind of hilarious.
So much great exposition in that scene.
All right. Yes, Eddie. Sorry, someone just came through the front door.
No worries. But yeah, the movie does an excellent job of working in a lot of exposition very naturally into it. I mean, there's the odd bit of they have like the opening monologue explaining the songstresses and the Han Moon, but pretty much just what everything else is done through showing, not telling. Like we learn that demons can shapeshift; they don't understand the human ways, and
yeah, and again, you get that. I love the way they do that through the demons on the plane. Just like, okay, you're watering a potted plant with coffee, and the rest of them, and you see them just literally going eat with the buttons. It's like I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah, how they managed to take off in the plane, I have no idea, but okay. I'm just rolling with it.
Yeah, absolutely no idea.
Yeah, and just how casual they are about dealing with it. Like, this is just another Tuesday. I think even like Zoe has like, why do they always do this when we're eating?
Not just that, when they're eating, they're having that carb loading.
Yeah. Oh, when Rumi like shoved that I don't know what the Korean word is, but that big like sushi log down her throat. I'm like, finally, I am represented on screen.
That sushi log did look delicious.
Everything looked delicious, and just the way that they just totally like destroyed them. It's like, yep, this is totally how I would attack that table.
So again, talking about what Netflix lets their filmmakers do, but more to the point, do you think there's more to it why, something like K-pop Demon Hunters is able to create such a lasting impression when Pixar, which for so long we considered like the dominating ruler of the animation game, now after watching Elio and realizing, okay, you people really need to stop trying to impress everyone, and Disney, which has essentially said if it ain't a sequel, we're not touching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
there's a lot to unpack there as to like film industry and animation, but to kind of give some highlighted thoughts is like there's no way that you can make an objective formula for how to make a successful movie. Hollywood has been trying that for like over a millennia now. It doesn't exist. Like there's just no way to do that. Like it's almost equal parts luck and skill to kind of make a successful movie. I think K-pop Demon Hunters, one has advantage being an animation, whereas there's sort of like three, I would say nowadays, more like two big advantages to animation over other visual media. The used to be like, well, one, you can do anything, but CGI has kind of made that any movie can do that now. It's just animation that looks realistic. The other advantage that animation has is because it's so much work to put in per frame, you really have to have a tight story and script. Like every scene has to form a function. And this film really exhibits that. Like everything is either establishing character or story, it's imparting information, it's setting something up that is paid off later. Like there is little to no fat on the bones of this movie. It's just like all tough meat. The other real advantage animation has, I think, is nobody cares about it.
that actually does bring up.
Yeah, okay. It's like we want a Batman TV show. It's like, okay, can I like do like good character works? Yeah, sure, whatever. We don't care. I'd like to do it on black and sweatshirt paper. Whatever, get it done by Tuesday. Whereas opposed to now, it's like here's our big prestigious cinematic universe, and we've got volumes and volumes and phone books of notes because everybody wants to have their fingerprints on this, and we have to satisfy this. Here's our market analytics and our focus group testing, and it's just like it's amazed when it actually does produce anything good. Whereas with animation, it's like, oh, you want to do something about K-pop Demon Hunters? Okay, just don't spend too much money.
That does also bring up a really good point, and that is the lackluster attachment to animation that we have seen out of the entertainment industry. And this is something that Guillermo del Toro actually talked about when he won the Best Animated Feature for Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. And he's absolutely right. He talked about how animation is still a form of art, and it is being valued less and less every day.
Well, they created an entire Academy Award category to prevent animated films from ever winning Best Picture. Like, Beauty and the Beast, that was too close. We better put animation back in its place.
Because, heaven forbid a landmark film like Beauty and the Beast be considered along the rest. I don't even remember what film took Best Picture that year.
Yeah,
I don't even remember who was nominated that year. Mm-hmm. But again, animation is just as equal a form of art as any other kind of filmmaking. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's a lot more fun because it does let you be more creative. There are multiple scenes in this movie that if you could try to do with live action, but it's going to cost a fortune. You're going to be using CGI 90% of the time, and good luck hiring a stuntman who's willing to do something that crazy.
Yeah, and I guess towards the more Pixar thing, I think what's happened with a lot of the major studios is there's been a focus on bringing in much more younger talent and ideas, which is not a bad idea. Of course, you need to make sure that you are able to replace the brain trust. The mistake is that while doing that, they also basically got rid of all the old guard. So there was no way to have the new animators get the benefit of the experience of the existing animators. There was no one to sort of guide them and show them, hey, this is after, decades of experience, what works and what doesn't and what you should focus on. It's just like, your old news. We're the kids are here to do their films. And I think we're kind of seeing it. Like a lot of these films come up more like, the sort of first film that someone out of art school would make. Mm-hmm. And there's also been this sort of shift to like more personalized stories, which again, like, almost every piece of art has something personal from the maker in it. It's not just, again, you can't just make like a rule that, personal films are doomed. Well, no, like It's all about how you go about it. Like, for example, in the M. Night Shyamalan Avatar: The Last Airbender film, they called Aang Ong. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they messed up multiple names.
Multiple names, and apparently M. Night Shyamalan was asked about that because this is taking from an animated series, so you get to hear the characters pronounce their names. This isn't like interpreting a book. He's like, oh well, when I was growing up in school, people often mispronounced my name, so I did that in the movie. It's like nobody other than you gets that. Everyone else just thinks you don't even know how the names are pronounced in your own film. Like.
Yeah, seriously, all it does is add to the fact that a lot of us watch that movie and we said, okay, just be honest with us. Be honest.
Yeah.
You never watched the show, did you?
Yeah. It's The Acolyte. It was this pointless meandering mess built around one scene of "Screw you, Dad, I'm a lesbian, I can do whatever I want," which isn't a bad message, but it didn't really fit into what they were going with the rest of the film. Whereas. Like, for example, The Matrix, I think there's elements of trans in The Matrix. Mm-hmm. Like, you notice how Agent Smith always dead names Neo?
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a Matrix retrospective, but, like the Wachowskis, who, I think fair to say they're kind of into the whole trans thing since they're sisters now.
Just maybe, yeah.
But they're able to take elements of that and make it understandable to a general audience. Like, even so much to the point that, people who disagree with them very much politically use expressions from the film, which is hilarious. Yeah, but anyway, so when it came to K-pop Demon Hunters, I actually did watch a few interviews with, with the creator. I forget her name, who is like a Korean American, I believe. And she said, I wanted to do a film based in Korea, like Korean culture. Mm-hmm. But to give something interesting for people to watch, I thought, demons would be fun because there's lots of demons in Korean folklore. So you could have, demon hunting. That's, action, visually interesting. People would like that. So she's already thinking about the audience. What would an audience want to see? And being a woman, she also wanted it to be like a kick-ass group of girl superheroes. So we ended up with a bunch of women, and then, and I really have to give the movie credit for not giving us perfect, girl bosses. These are very much very, acting like normal people. Mm-hmm. There are some scenes that are just hilarious just to see them, their insecurities and how they act and react to things. And, they bicker amongst themselves and do things to excess. It's quite hilarious, but
I mean, again, they're opening. The first scene we see with them is them having a carb fest.
Yeah, just them shoving food in their face, and it's just this is just pure, unadulterated, hedonistic consumption of food. You even get the demons giving that "we're gonna eat your fans," and Mira just belches right in the middle of it,
It's like, what? I just ate a ton. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's when they go to kill try and kill the Saja boys, they get all suited up and they got "kill Saja" written on all their nails, and you see them sneaking around the show stage, and it's almost like Looney Tunes-esque. They're hunched over, carrying their weapons.
And then you get probably my absolute favorite line in this whole movie when they're outed on it, and of course they can't do anything. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're the other big pop band is here," and they tried. Okay. I don't know if this is a Korean thing or what it is, but the boys are the Sasha boys are on the show drinking hot sauce in a competition with, I think it's the host's sidekick.
Yeah, it's probably some sort of a variety show. Again, I don't know much about Korean TV, but
no, I've got no.
Those are very popular shows where you'll have hosts who are kind of comedians. So usually be a panel, a rotating panel of celebrities where they have to do crazy games or watch funny videos or something. So this is probably a very typical primetime Korean TV show.
Well, it's got 3 slides into a ball pit, and the girls are encouraged to go down the slides, and they're suited up in their battle leather. And they try to go down the slides, and it's just that squeaking sound because the leather is creating all this friction. And Zoe goes, "The leather has betrayed us!"
Yes.
I love that line.
I know, and it's great because, it makes sense. Leather would do that, and they're not afraid to show the girls, it not, in a bad position. and it was sort of like the last idea was like we have all these girl characters. What should they do for their day jobs? Is like, well, K-pop stars, and like, yeah, that's a great idea because people love K-pop. And I watched a few videos on like sort of the Korean references in this. Again, I haven't studied much of Korea, but they did say that it's not uncommon in like Korean traditional shamanism to like have like priestesses like sing songs and dance to sort of bring the community together, and it would be like to create like a barrier against like demons and stuff. So they kind of just took that and supercharged it.
I'm assuming that's like the idea of singing gospel songs in a church kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of building community, and community creates harmony, and that reduces problems. So keeping the demons at bay, to get a little Jungian on this, but.
And you're absolutely right about, you were talking about actually having female leads, female superheroes. And it's interesting for me because, we review so many superhero shows and movies here on this network. We just did Fantastic Four, we did Superman. And anytime we've reviewed something that had a female lead, we have to see so much backlash from the community. Hell, again, The Acolyte. Nightmare of everyone just like, oh, because everyone was going nuts, and again, that show had a multitude of problems.
Yeah, again, it's not the women that are the problem. It's the show is bad.
Yeah,
it's just a bad show, guys.
But people were complaining even at the first trailer about it being focused on women, being female leads, and the fact that these female characters grew up in a coven of witches, all female. You take a look at the Marvels, which again had problems, but people were ready to just disembowel that from the beginning because it's female lead. It is so hard. Even today, this is something that we thought for years we'd finally be able to conquer, and we haven't. And unfortunately, that's because a lot of the female-led projects have been terrible. I'm sorry, Black Widow deserved so much better than the movie she got.
And she had one of the better outings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just thinking because like just last week, I think the Critical Drinker did his like Ghostbusters 2016 retrospective, and I'm like, a movie about like a group of women that hunt ghosts, and it bombed. And wait a minute, what did I just watch? I just watched a movie about a group of women that hunt demons. And it was awesome, and it's super popular. So I think the women are not the problem.
And it really does go to show that. Oh, yeah, we guys say, why can't they be female? We're not saying they can't be. We're saying how important it is actually, and how it's been so hard to see decent female-led hero projects, superheroes and the like, where there's really enough to back it up. The 2016 Ghostbusters, I remember, people were like, oh no, you can't. It's like, you can't watch it because it's a girl-led movie. And I watched it like, no, the problem is this movie has clearly been edited to hell.
Yeah, I mean, like yes, the people that just hate everything because women in it, they exist.
Oh, they do.
Yep, I'm totally with you there. I'm not a fan of that.
We have at least two of them on the network, I think.
we do pretty good for opinion diversity on the network here, but I just think like something like this just goes to show that you can absolutely make this work and you can make it profitable. You just have to actually make a good movie. And like personally, it really upsets me when you make a female-led movie that's not good, and then when it's not successful, it's just like, oh, we failed because of misogyny. It's like
exactly.
Yeah, like I'm totally willing to stand up and say like, yes, female-led action movies can and do work. I have no problem with them making them. It's just make good movies and don't use gender politics as an excuse if you fail. Anyway, that's
no, but you're absolutely right. And one of the things that also really helps is that the director, Maggie King, I wanted to make sure I got the name right again. This was definitely more of a personal story for her. And it just screams of so much personal story. Hell, I love that their number one song, Golden, is about the story of all three girls. Yeah. You have Mira talking, it's like, call me the wild child. Rumi talks like, I was a ghost, I was alone. Zoe saying it's like I tried to live two lives. And normally songs like that can kind of make you want to put your head through the wall. It's like, again, it's like we don't need the plot sung to us. Yeah, but this works.
Yeah, it gives you a bit more exposition on the group, but also what I find interesting about Golden is it's kind of also a lie. Like this is them presenting themselves as as their ideal. This is the sort of Celine, Celine indoctrination of like, you have to always look perfect. You cannot show your flaws or anything. You have to be strong at all times. And it's only until you get to what it sounds like at the end, where it's like, no, like, our flaws are part of us, and ignoring them or trying to hide them just allows them to fester and grow.
Exactly. We all want to see our idols as absolute perfect beings, as overcoming so many obstacles and problems, and just being like, I have grown and I am better, and I have beaten every challenge and nothing can stop me. That's what we want out of our heroes.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with aspirational heroes, or because it gives you something to strive for. And I don't have problems with like that in our stars and celebrities. I mean, thanks to Twitter, we now know that they are very much not perfect people. Mm-hmm. But it is also important to know that everyone has problems, everyone has regrets and things, and hiding your flaws is not how you deal with them. It's like as much as the song "Free," the Jinu Rumi, I wouldn't quite say love song. It's not really a romantic relationship, though. Maybe it would have gone there eventually.
Actually, let's just say it. I am so glad. There's amazing chemistry between these two characters, but absolutely. I am so happy we didn't get a love story out of them, because frankly, that does scream algorithm. That screams we're trying to copy Disney. Maybe there was something between them, but they never even kiss in this movie. For all we know,
the bit with the old lady is like, "Oh, he's your boyfriend." He is not my boyfriend, and she just like gives her the bracelets, like, you could find someone better. I thought I didn't want to miss our date. He's like, "This is not a date," and he just like points to the card with the word date on it. Oh, you are so old.
Or just like the fans doing all the shipping, and you got Mira paired up with Abby, the abs guy, and she's like, "No more abs."
But shipper's gonna ship, right?
Shipper's gonna ship. That is so something the fans would be doing, and I love it.
But no, it's more them bonding over their shared demonness. Like Rumi's just her just being part demon and being a demon hunter, which is a bit of a conflict.
Tiny bit.
And then you have Jinu, where it's his comes more from like his actual shame of his past decisions and how that hurt his family. And the two of them just like realizing that, by talking to each other and sharing this instead of keeping it bottled up inside, it actually helps them. Like, Rumi can't sing the song. Like, she goes to do Golden so she can seal the Han Moon and remove her patterns. But she can't sing. She can't like hit the high notes because like the pattern has gone up into her throat, and now it's interfering. But she gets her voice back because she's able to lower the influence of the patterns because she's being open with Jinu about it. And he also is less under Guima's influence because he's able to open to her about it. And you just, they sing that song, which is, sure, it's kind of the pee break song, like, but it's also like you have that line, what is it like? We can't fix it unless we can face it.
Exactly. And that does bring to, I think, what is actually the crucial message of this movie. Because again, Guima, he gets the power because he is the shame. He is like, I wasn't kidding. He is that voice in the back of your head that
you even hear it at the end of the film when like we've had our third act, lowest point. He's like, you hear it whispering in everyone's ear. Like he tells Mira, you will never have a family. Or Zoe, you're too much and not enough. Like it's, he tells Bobby, the manager. Also, great points for this film for not like having to put down any of the male characters to make the female characters look better.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure like Daniel Day Kim and Kim Jong's got their scripts swapped.
You think Ken Jong was supposed to be the wacky doctor? And
well, he's kind of that's kind of his thing. Like this is like the best thing I've seen him in since like Endgame.
Who knows? Maybe they did originally have him. They said, you know what? Let's swap. Let's play something different.
I didn't know it was him until the credits. But anyway, you have the whisper in his ear. You could have kept them. You failed to keep them together. So yeah, it's not subtle with that, but it's like we all have that voice for something or another.
Exactly. But it's the message is that we all have that. And you cannot live by running away constantly from your shame, because that's what Guillermo wants. He wants people to run from his shame into his arms. That's how he gets his power. we can't do that. We all have it, and we all have to face it. And we are better for that. We are better for admitting that we are flawed. We make mistakes, and we are not perfect, but that's just part of life.
Yeah, and they do a great job of setting various setups for how that works. Like for people's shame, like you have Rumi, who was just born like with part demon. Like it's nothing she has any control over at all. It's something inherent to her. So if you're someone where I would just pick like race, gender, sexual identity, that kind of thing, you could probably relate to her journey in a way, even if it's not specifically to those things. But then you also have like Rumi and Zoe, who like it's more like Rumi, or sorry, not Rumi, Mira. She's she doesn't fit in. She's like crass. She's blunt. She's a bit aggressive. Not by any means a bad person, but she doesn't fit into her family, and she's looking for her own family, and that's just hard. That's her fear of never getting to that. Zoe, she's a children of two worlds. Like she's got her sort of American cultural heritage and her Korean heritage, and her insecurities about that. And then you have Jinu, who basically sold his soul to Gwiwa and abandoned his family so that he could live a life of luxury. And that knowledge that he abandoned them to die in poverty, that that is a direct that wasn't some personality flaw or something inherent to him. That was a choice that he made, that he has to live with the consequences. And you certainly, of those three types, he's the one that you feel the less sympathy for. Like he deserves some manner of suffering, but at the same time, he shouldn't just let that be him for all eternity. Like just because you made a bad choice in the past, which yes, you have to face the shame of, that doesn't mean you can't do good in the future. And that's sort of his salvation, where he realizes that he can't let that one moment become his identity.
You're absolutely right. In fact, there's a scene again. Rumi goes to Celine after she's been outed as a demon, and credit to the design. The patterns are like these purple lightning bolt effects kind of on the skin. I mean, I use the term lightning bolt because it literally, you ever seen like the scars on someone who's been struck by lightning and the way it just kind of like flashes all over their skin?
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it looks like, but purple. So she's got that, which matches her hair, which is cool. And a nice little touch. One of her eyes is, it kind of looks like a cat eye. So
it's like
how half of her, how half of her body is kind of becoming more demon-like. And again, she goes to Celine for help, and Celine is saying, we'll just cover this up. We'll, cover.
Tell it was a quick trick by Guima. Like, it'll all be good.
And Rumi says, why couldn't you love me? Celine says, I do. And Rumi says, I said, why couldn't you love all of me?
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of people who heard that and said, yeah, why does that sound familiar?
Yeah, definitely. And again, like they keep it general enough that it can apply to anyone, just about. I mean, some more than others.
Yeah, absolutely. Still, it's incredible. Just for fun, I'll go and ask, what did you prefer more, the tiger or the bird?
Ooh, yeah. We didn't talk about the most important part of the movie.
The cute animal sidekicks who we're already seeing plushies of.
oh, yeah. Those are, well, actually, I saw, what was her name? Mandy Kane, like the creator. Like I saw like on Team, she has like a little like model of the cat with the little hat on it. And then, it's a tiger technically, but yeah.
Cat, tiger, tomato.
Yeah. Apparently that's based off of like popular folk art where they just like having that sort of derpy tiger style with the magpie on it. Like, I don't think it has like any sort of significance symbolically. It's just people really
classic,
like derpy tigers.
Korean painting.
Yeah.
With the derpy tiger.
Yeah. Who knew that was the animal mascot we all needed in our lives?
And I love the line because when just after a couple of times of seeing, because I guess the tiger is just sort of like the herald of Junie, sort of like, it's like the tiger and the bird show, but it's like Junie's right around the corner. And Ruth says, hey, I've been meaning to ask, why does the bird wear a hat? And Gina says, well, I made it for the tiger, but the bird keeps stealing it.
and then you see the bird just kind of like give this little grin. They didn't really, they were just kind of, they're mostly just there, but they were fun. And again, it wasn't too much. And no, it was like I said, they weren't there too much. It wasn't a case of animal sidekicks over dominate. I mean, I can't help but feel there weren't any hijinks. It was just that tiger just really want the pot and the basket to stay upright.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
But you know that if in lesser hands, they probably would have had like a whole scene of the cat, the tiger, and the bird getting into their own little, misadventure
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah,
Just the scene of the tiger trying to steal noodles from a nearby shop, and the bird's like, "No, don't steal the noodles," or something like that.
Yeah, it would be like a Tom and Jerry cartoon shoved into it. Like someone's going to use AI or something at some point to do like, what if Disney made K-pop Demon Hunters, and it would just be like, Magpie and Tiger just get into all sorts of hijinks. But but on that subject, I really have to admire how much restraint they showed in this film, like especially when it comes to Zoe, because the bubbly, goofy one, like she's if they were Ninja Turtles, she's definitely the Michelangelo of the group.
If they're the Powerpuff Girls, she's definitely Bubbles.
Yeah, I've not the first person who's compared them to Powerpuff Girls.
Oh yeah, easily.
But I do like how she's funny and goofy, but never too much. Like they know just how far to take it and no further, and it just keeps her character nice and grounded, but still lovable.
Also because she's the lead rapper, and it's kind of implied that she's kind of the lead of the lyrics writers.
She's the creative of the group. Like she's got like 27 notebooks full of lyrics, and
I love that
57 plans to help Rumi get her voice back. And again, like you just through how she acts and how the characters react to her, you get so much knowledge of like who this person is that you don't really need like any exposition. Like just the way that they go to the quack doctor, and just you see them like look at the sign outside. It's like, oh, Zoe. And then again, you get where Rumi tries to one of the pouches, and she finds it just like sticker over grape juice. It's just like, oh, Zoe.
No, you're absolutely right. And so again, the one of the things to take away from this is that it's so easy to see what this movie would have become in lesser hands, what a lot of these other directors would have done if they were, trying to, I don't know, like again, we talk about the algorithm, and which I think is mostly what's been causing Pixar's downfall. I talked about this when we reviewed Elio, is that Disney in general is trying too hard to please everyone rather than telling a personal tale and really aiming at specific groups and just kind of helping to bring them up. It feels like they're trying to cast too wide of a net. And we all know the old saying, when you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because like we just had the South Park premiere happen recently, and like everyone's just blowing up over it, which I understand.
Yeah, well, it's South Park. If they're not blowing up over it, then Matt and Trey are doing something wrong.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is so offensive, or this is so awesome, and it's just like like I have to hand it to them. Like they do not care what anyone thinks; they just do their own thing, and it's worked out really good for them. Regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with them this particular episode.
I just love it at San Diego Comic-Con. It was like, we're really sorry.
Yeah,
that's it.
I feel like that's kind of just what they keep on saying. They've been saying ever since the first episode. But anyway, I haven't seen Elio because it's in theaters. I know you and Mark were pretty positive on it, Mark especially. So my sort of quick thoughts on that is I think it kind of lost a lot in terms of the marketing. You get the name Elio. What's an Elio? Like, I don't know. I assume it's the kid's name because that makes sense. K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh, I know exactly what that's about. Like, I've had this conversation with people. It's like, oh, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters last week. It's, oh, what's it about? It's kind of in the title.
K-pop Demon.
Yeah. But another thing too is like I watched the trailer for Elio, and it's just like, okay, it's a kid wearing a colander on his head with an eye patch and a cape who wants to get abducted by aliens, and he gets abducted by aliens. Like, okay, like that's not really a whole lot to go on. If it had been like, oh, they think he's like the leader of Earth, so he's now like pretending to be the leader of Earth. It's like, oh, okay, well that's interesting. Whereas you watch like the trailer for K-pop Demon Hunters, and you get the music, you get the jokes, you get the action. Like these are girls fighting demons with the power of song and violent edged weapons.
Well, part of the other problem with Elliot, and it's so funny because we keep going back to the idea of the algorithm and the personal story, is that the writer who originally gave us Elio, the original movie was a very personal tale.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to tell a story about how he grew up with very few friends. He was very ostracized. He had no one that he really got along with. And when he went to art school and started meeting with other artists and animators, how he fit in, and it finally felt like, he just finally felt the peace. And that is something that I believe is truly important for all of us. It's the idea of like, you will find your people, you will find your gang, your clique, your group. And it's very hard when you haven't found where you fit in yet. And that was what they were going for. And then Disney and Pixar said, well, we want to market this to a larger group. So Elio is painful, not because of what it is, but what it could have been.
Yeah.
I think like when we reviewed Aquaman 2, we're sitting there going, it's like, we know that movie got hacked to hell.
Yeah.
And it's more disappointing to watch it and go, there was a good movie in this and we're never going to see it.
Yeah, it's there's so many factors that go into whether or not a film is good or not. It's kind of really hard to just make up a list of, you need this, and this, and then it'll all work out. But it's just some people have that ability where they're able to kind of take that inspiration and turn it into something that people will like, and other times it doesn't always work out.
Well, we're getting close to an hour here, so I think we'll start wrapping up, but I will ask you one more question. K-Pop Demon Hunters 2, yes or no?
If they have a good story that they want to tell, yes. If they're doing it just for the money, please no. Agreed.
But I have a feeling the writing's on the wall, and I have a feeling Netflix is going to be going to Maggie going, come on, give us a sequel.
I just watched an interview with her where she said, like, there's nothing planned right now, I think she was saying. Like, I know there's been talk of, a sequel or like a prequel series.
That could be something on what was the name of the previous band? The Sunshine Girls, Sunshine
like
Sisters, something like that.
You could do a lot. It could be like an anthology scene. Anyway, like she does say that there's like, they have a lot of lore. Like there's so it sounds like they do have material that they can use to do more stuff. They just don't really know what form that will take. Will we get more Huntrix after this movie? Will we get Huntrix before this movie? Like, will we address some of the things that were left on the cutting room floor because they just weren't important to the film? Like, I know there's like storyboards out there of like Rumi's parents and how they met and how that all worked out, but nothing nothing that ever got finalized. Like they said in the interview, like, that was something we were working on, but like, don't take what you hear from that as what the lore is. Because what is canon is what is in the film, because that's the stuff that got finished. Everything else is just like brainstorming and working through it. And then there was stuff on like, how did the girls meet and get trained? But again, like that, any attempt to sort of put that in the movie just distracted from the main plot, and it just kind of got left. So there's they have stuff that they absolutely could do, and it sounds like that they want to do, and just. Like, we keep on saying we want more original content, and we sure got it with this. But at the same time, like, do I really want that original content to just turn into another franchise being like ran into the ground? And especially, I'm almost nervous as things get more popular, then you do get like the producers in the suits wanting to come in and focus group test and put their own mark on things, and and then we're just gonna get like the acolyte for K-Pop Demon Hunters in like 10 years, and everyone will hate it. And to go back around to what I said at first is like, I have no problem with sequels. I mean, who wants Star Wars without Empire Strikes Back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I want it to be if they actually have a story they want to tell that they believe is worth telling. I don't just want it to be content for the sake of content. I don't want Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, that felt like a waste of air.
Yeah, I mean,
I love
Jack credit to them, but yeah,
I love Jack Black, and I love him doing voiceover work. But that seriously, walked out. I was like, that felt like an hour and a half. I'm not going to get back.
Well, it's like Paul Hogan after he made Crocodile Dundee 2. He said, "That's it. I'm done. No more Crocodile Dundee movies. I've done everything I want to do with that character." And then I think probably over the next 20 years of living in LA, he just got lots of little ideas for like, it would be fun to see Mick Dundee do this and that. And then eventually he had enough to make a movie. And then he made Crocodile Dundee 3, Crocodile Dundee in LA. And it's an absolutely hilarious film. Like I don't think I got much fanfare, but seriously, people, go watch it and thank me later. Like, and that's the sort of thing I want when I get a sequel, is something that was made because there were some great ideas that they wanted to make, not just obligation.
Exactly. It's like we want to see these characters naturally. We want the story to continue because there's something to tell.
Yeah.
We don't want this to just feel like, executives pounding on the button saying more, more, more.
Yeah, Superman or Batman, Scooby-Doo, more dinosaurs. Yeah. But
still, I think the best joke I've ever given, Mark, and he always forgets I gave that to him.
Yeah, well, thank you for the joke, but yeah, and if they don't have a new direction for K-pop Demon Hunters, maybe just do something else. Like, sounds like they got some good ideas. Maybe another project will be what we didn't realize we all wanted and needed.
Well, we do have something else to look forward to coming on Netflix. They're going to be having Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein coming out here in about 3 months, and I cannot wait for that. They released some photos. I don't know if this was an Entertainment Weekly release or a San Diego Comic-Con release, but they showed a lot of the photos from people on the sets and whatnot, and oh my God, this movie's just dripping in Del Toro style, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, I bet it'll be good. He's he's very good when he's in his wheelhouse. He's actually still pretty good when he's out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah, but I don't think you could find anything more in his wheelhouse than the original Frankenstein.
That's pretty up there. I mean, that In the Mouth of Madness movie that they were going to do with him and Tom Cruise, that would have been special.
Still hoping for that one. If anyone can give us an Eldritch horror and do it properly, it's Del Toro.
Yes, he's definitely a master of Eldritch horror, and if you have a star that's really good at believing in phony religions made up by sci-fi authors, then so much the better.
Damn, that was actually a good joke.
I'm sad to say. Well, I'm not sad to say. I totally stole that from Movie Bob, so he deserves all the credit for that one. But good job, a good joke, sir.
Very good joke. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up and go into plugs. What do we got coming up next? When will we next be seeing you?
Not sure on the exact dates, but certainly Strange New Worlds season 3. Mark has me on for that. At some point might do Wednesday, so that might see me for that whenever that happens. I'm very dedicated to going to see Tron Ares, good or bad.
Oh yeah. I'm excited to see that. My husband is a huge he's actually got a Tron. I got him a classic Tron movie poster framed. Nice. He's got it hanging up behind him in his office. He loves Tron because he's a software engineer, so he loves the idea of like things inside the computer.
Yeah. So does he love Reboot?
I don't know if he actually ever saw it. You got to remember, my husband's an immigrant from Romania, so I don't know if that's something he watched when he came over.
But if you say like early groundbreaking CGI mixed with people living inside a computer, like it's kind of Tron and Reboot. Those are your kind of two go-tos.
Yeah, I just realized I don't think I've ever asked him if he has ever seen that.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's all legally up on YouTube, so
probably.
Yeah, you should give that a go.
All right, and I sent that link a while ago about Strange New Worlds doing the puppet episode that's coming out. Did I see that correctly? They're going to do an episode where the whole staff is puppets.
I would assume so. Like I haven't been following it too much just yet, but I did see an image of Anson Mount as a puppet. So I'd assume so. I mean, that's kind of what you do. They've already done the musical episode. They did the fantasy role playing episode. So yeah, puppets is probably the next one on the list of fun episodes.
Are they just going through the Buffy the Vampire Slayer checklist at this point?
Probably. It's yeah. But I mean, okay, like they just do like one fun, goofy episode a season, and I'm okay with that. You had your fun. It's all good, and maybe it'll be good. But
hey, we got that with Supernatural with a fun, goofy episode every season, and that's how we got the Scooby Natural episode, which is still a classic. Still love that. So credit to a series that knows how to entertain their fans like that without going too overboard.
Yeah, and I think the Avatar 3 trailer just dropped. I know you're not a fan, but it actually looked interesting. So.
Yeah, did you see the chat we had on the network about predicting the story? And I think it might have been Andrew Graham who joked about how the plot's gonna suddenly look very familiar to the 3rd season of The Last Airbender. And I just say,
the shows will just merge.
I just said, well, James Cameron's stolen from everyone else as far as the stories. He might as well steal from the better Avatar. Oh, okay. Yeah, not a fan of the Avatar movies, but whatever. If you're a fan, you're a fan. Okay, so I'm going to be back next week for 2 shows. We're going to be doing an extra Damn You Hollywood next week where Robert and Jason and I are reuniting the Unholy Trilogy and talking about Together, the new body horror film coming with Dave Franco and his real-life wife, Alison Brie. I think it's been getting great reviews. We're really excited. That's going to be on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Now on this coming Wednesday, I will be back with Mark to do a little bit more horror talk because we are going to be talking the 2nd season of Monsters. This is also on Netflix. And this is the continuation of the 1st season where they looked at Jeffrey Dahmer. This season, they looked at Eric and Lyle Menendez and the murder of their parents. So we're going to be discussing that next week. I'm actually in the middle of kind of skimming through some of the better episodes of that. I watched it a few weeks ago with my husband, loved it, and then I realized I completely forgot to take notes for that. So I'm rewatching it to write down some notes. And the week after that, I will be back again, and Robert and Jason will once again be coming with me to do the Unholy Trinity looks at weapons, which got a few more sneak peeks over this last weekend, and this movie looks crazy. I really don't know where they're going with it, but it looks so good. Cannot wait to see it. In the meantime, Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. We're going to be heading this weekend to Omaha, Nebraska for Comic-Con Nebraska. This is a brand new show. They are just getting started. We're excited to be on the ground floor with them. We're going to be bringing a lot of our new stuff, including, let me scroll down here, ta-da, our new Huntrix and Saja Boys line. We got the earrings. We also got a set of hairpins with both bands' logos on it. So going to be bringing that. As always, they're already available on both our Etsy and Handmade at Amazon shop, and you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Sucket, Twitter, and TikTok. Again, that's Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. So, hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. For Mr. David Wright, I'm Alexis Hejna, and you know what? I'm going to go lie down on the couch.
Couch, 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 couch.